This is You and Me by Lifehouse. The first thing we're going to do is go over the bass notes and chords to the verse. You might want to put your computer screen on full view right now because I know I'm trying to include both my right hand and left hand in this shot. I'm going to do close-ups of each in just a minute, but I thought it best that we do them together first. So here's how it's going to go. Now what I'm doing here is I'm keeping my third and pinky on the third fret, third finger being on second string, pinky being on first. And then we're going to move a bass line with our first and second fingers, something like this. And the exact notes I'm playing here are second finger, third fret, sixth string. Then we're going to move it over to fifth string. Then we're going to go first finger, second fret, sixth string. Move it over to fifth string. Then we have an open sixth string, the E string. Back to first finger on second fret, sixth string. And then a C2 chord. Again, that's and in between here we have a little strum. Which is up on the higher strings. So we're doing a bass note followed by a strum. And the strum I'm doing goes down, up, down, up. So we have bass note, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up, bass. So the bass is a down, and then we have an up, down, up on the strums. So let's zoom in now so you can get a closer look at my left hand and see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, here's a close-up of the left hand fingering for You and Me by Lifehouse. Basically it's going to look like this with the bass. See, my second finger is on the third fret on the sixth string, and then it moves over to the fifth string. First finger, second fret, sixth string, moves over to fifth string. Then we have open sixth string, followed by second fret, sixth string, followed by a chord right here. It's called a C2 chord. And the way we produce that one is third and pinky are going to be on second string and first string, both on the third fret. First finger comes over here to second fret, fourth string, and second finger comes to third fret on the fifth string, and it's going to sound like this. So again, we have bass, third fret, second fret, open, second, and chord. Okay, here's where you can get a closer look at what I'm doing with my right hand for the strum. As I said earlier, we're going to go bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up. So really slowly, we're going to pick the bass note to the chord, move up to the higher strings, and do down, up, bass, down, up, So when we're strumming the higher notes, we're not strumming the whole guitar, we're just focusing on the top 4 strings. And that happens in both the verse and the chorus. The strum to the song is pretty consistent. And that pretty much sums it up. So let's move along to the next part of the lesson. Okay, if you listen closely to the song, you'll notice that there's a few notes in there between the chords and the chord progression that kind of smooth it out a little bit and embellish the song a little bit. One of them sounds like this. Here it is again. And that's part of the C2 chord. Here it is in context. And the way we produce these is actually a series of hammer-ons or pull-offs, or both, on the chords. For example, we have our C2 here. What we're going to do is start the chord without our first finger, play the chord, and then hammer our first finger to the note it would normally lie on, which is the 2nd fret on the 4th string. And then when he goes, he takes his finger off, so the whole phrase looks like this. There's another grace note that goes like this, and that's before the G5 over B chord. Actually, he's hammering into the G5 over B chord. And here we start the chord with our open A string and hammer into the G5 over B chord, like so. And then into. So that's how you do the embellishments in the song. When I play it through the last time for you, I'm going to include all those too, so you can see how my hand works when I'm playing them along with the song. So have fun with those. They're a little bit challenging for beginners, but maybe you can stretch out and see if you can't do them. Now we're going to go over the chorus to You and Me by Lifehouse. This is our close-up on the left-hand part of the lesson. You're going to need to know 5 chords for this, and then we're going to put them in sequence. So let's go over the 5 chords first, and then we'll build the chorus with the sequence of the chords you need to know. It all starts with G5. As we went over earlier, G5 is going to be your 3rd and pinky on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string and 1st strings. Your first finger is going to come over here to 2nd fret on 5th string, and your 2nd finger is going to come to 6th string, 3rd fret. Next up we have C2. For C2, we just move these 2 fingers over one set of strings. E minor 7. We bring our 1st and 2nd fingers over here to 5th string and 4th string, both on the 2nd fret. A7 suspended 4, where we bring our 1st finger over to 2nd fret on the 4th string. And you notice I just leave these 2 fingers in place the whole time for this set of chords, with the exception of the next one, which is D. And when we do D, we're going to have our 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 1st string, and 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 2nd string. So our pinky's actually going to come off for this one. Now here's our sequence for the chords, and this is a rather long sequence, so you might want to get out a pen and paper and write them down as I go along. Here it comes. We're going to have G5, A7 suspended 4, C2, to E minor 7, back to G5, E minor 7, A7 suspended 4. And then we go back to G5, A7 suspended 4, C2, E minor, G5, E minor, D, then C2. And then it heads back into the verse, or if you're on the last chorus, it does the chorus twice. And the strum we went over earlier where we use the bass note, then our down, up strum on the higher strings applies to this chord progression as well. We just play the bass note of each chord and throw in our strum. Should sound like that when you put it all together.